My name is Gabby Swim, and this video goes out to all the lawmakers on why animal testing needs to be a crime. So, testing on animals is another form of animal abuse. We all know animal abuse is something that's horrible, where animals are beaten, neglected, trained to be in dog fights, like they're out on chains and just left to die basically, and not being fed or anything. So, if that's illegal, why is testing harmful products on animals, another form of abuse, legal? Animals that are tested on are underfed and have lack of shelter and love. They just sit in cages all day and night. They have minimal food just to keep them alive. They suffer through getting continuous sores and welts from products, along with other problems like blindness, and they often result in death. If the animal doesn't die from being tested on, the animal will be euthanized later on when the scientist is finished experimenting on them. Um, Animal testing is also extremely harmful for the environment. The bodies of the deceased animals have to be disposed of somehow. There are hundreds of animal bodies that are disposed of each day that are harming the earth. And animal testing is also not very efficient. Animals have different tissues and cells than humans do, and it's hard for scientists to get accurate results when testing on animals, causing them to have to do the test multiple times, which results in not very good results because since they're tested on multiple times, they already have an immune system that's building up for it. And animals are made up differently from humans, so these tests cannot be accurate. Testing on animals is very costly and time consuming. Conducting one test on animals takes about 2 to 6 weeks to get the results. Tests often have to be done numerous times, adding to the time and costs of the test. You also have to pay to get animals to pay for their resources like food, water, shelter, and someone has to take care of them. So adding all of that onto testing animals just adds a lot of money that we don't have nor needs to be there. Like if there weren't animals, you wouldn't have to pay someone to be there to take care of them and clean up after them. So there are plenty of alternatives to animal testing. There's something called in vitro testing, which is when scientists replicate human tissue and conduct a test on that. The results can show in as little as 3 minutes to 4 hours and is more effective because it's done on human tissue. It saves a lot more time and it's a lot more accurate because animal cells are different from human cells. And then there's also volunteer-based testing. This is a little more, what did I say? A lot of people don't like this option, but it's volunteer-based. So this is when people can volunteer to be tested on with something called microdosing. So this is when they're given very low doses of a drug or product, and then the scientists can see how it affects the body on a cellular level rather than the whole body. Whereas with animals, they just give the full dose, and it's the whole body, and if it's with a human, they just give you really small doses at a time, and it's also volunteer-based. So animals can't volunteer to do this. They have no way of telling us they don't want to do this, but they can still feel the same pain that we do. Whereas if a person volunteered to do it, they know the risk. They're signing a contract saying, like, this is what could happen, this is what we're doing. They know what they're getting themselves into. Animals don't have that choice. They're often bred to do this. Another alternative is in silico testing. So scientists use this method to test using a computer system. They can replicate tissues and conduct the experiments all with only technology. In silico testing, replicates and simulates human biology and can show how a disease will progress. And this is a lot more cost effective and better for the environment. And you don't have to test on anyone. It doesn't have to be volunteer based, it doesn't have to be on animals or anybody. So with a computer, it's so much easier. You just buy the program once and then you can continually use it to test makeup products and other vaccines that we need to be tested on to make sure it's safe before they're used on everybody. And a lot of people think that we need animal testing because they look at these alternatives and they're like, oh, that's not going to work. Like, because someone's replicating tissue doesn't mean it's actual real tissue. Or volunteer based, that's just horrible. Why would we test these on humans? And in silico testing on computers, that's not real. It's not a real person or an animal. Like, it's not a real living thing. But with these tests on animals, they feel the same pain that we do. They have no idea what's going on. They don't have any options. Would you let your pet, like your cat or dog or rat or any animal, would you volunteer them to be tested on with harmful products like makeup products or anything, or vaccines? Probably not, because you love them and they're part of your family. That's how it is, exactly like that. Um, so there's plenty of alternatives to animal testing, and animal testing needs to become a crime because it's the same form of abuse that is illegal right currently. So why is this different form of abuse not legal? So I would just do more research on products you're using. Make sure that makeup products or other products that you use in your daily lives aren't tested on animals. There are plenty of lists you can find online. The less we buy from these companies, the less they're going to make. So we can all make a difference in our own way.